Winston Churchill that said, continuing effort and not strength or intelligence is the key to unlocking our potential. Now, I believe that, and I believe that the focus of that effort should always be on our minds. And today, I will discuss with you a characteristic of our brains that I believe can unlock our highest potential in our lives. Neuroplasticity is essentially an ability of our nervous system to produce new neural connections. So, what does that mean? It means that essentially our brain has the ability to adjust and adapt to any internal or external change in our situation or environment. And that could be an injury, a disease, or even a new job. Our brain is adaptable. That means that we have neurological potential. But as we all know, potential is just untapped energy. So when we leverage this, then that energy becomes power. And that's when it gets interesting. And that's when you can unleash the potential of your mind, and that will manifest in reaching your potential in your life. Now, just make sure that everyone has a good understanding of what neuroplasticity is. I'm going to play a short video.
Not so long ago, many scientists believed that the brain did not change after childhood, that it was hardwired and fixed by the time we became adults. But recent advances in only the last decade now tell us that this is simply not true. The brain can and does change throughout our lives. It is adaptable, like plastic. Hence, neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity. How does neuroplasticity work? If you think of your brain as a dynamic, connected power grid, there are billions of pathways or roads lighting up every time you think, feel, or do something. Some of these roads are well-travelled. These are our habits, our established ways of thinking, feeling, and doing. Every time we think in a certain way, practice a particular task, or feel a specific emotion, we strengthen this road. It becomes easier for our brains to travel this pathway. Say we think about something differently, learn a new task, or choose a different emotion. We start carving out a new road. If we keep travelling that road, our brains begin to use this pathway more, and this new way of thinking, feeling, or doing becomes second nature. The old pathway gets used less and weakens. This process of rewiring your brain by forming new connections and weakening old ones is neuroplasticity in action. The good news is that we all have the ability to learn and change by rewiring our brains. If you have ever changed a bad habit or thought about something differently, you have carved a new pathway in your brain and experienced neuroplasticity firsthand. With repeated and directed attention towards your desired change, you can rewire your brain.
Right. So based on this and all the research that I've done, I have identified 4 ways in which neuroplasticity can allow us to reach our full potential, and I call it STEER. That is stimulate, emulate, eliminate, and regenerate. Now, what we just saw is that repetitive task of one kind opens up a new neural pathway and stimulates its growth. And there's no better example of that in my recent experience than Mohammad Khatami. Now, he was born a bit differently than the average person. He was born mute and didn't speak until the age of 6. And when he did, he, just like me, had a severe and aggressive stutter and suffered in silence until in high school, a friend of his challenged him to speak at an assembly in front of the entire school, and he did it. Now, I don't know if he did it well, but it sparked something, and he kept speaking. Eventually, he joined Toastmasters. Where is he right now? He is the current world champion of public speaking. How is it that a person who was mute until the age of 6 and still has a stutter is able to do this? I believe that neuroplasticity is a big factor. He had a goal, committed, and kept repeating it. And I actually had a chance to meet him, and what he told me is that he actually manages his fluency as a stutterer by speaking more. The more that he speaks, the better his stutter gets. When he stops, that's when it comes back. So that repetitiveness is what has stimulated his ability to be fluent according to him, and I believe it. Now, based on what he's done, I say, forget being like forget being like Mike. I want to be like Mohammad. Now, just imagine when I watched this speech, how I felt to see him get on stage as the person who has a stutter. It was almost as if I felt his excitement, that I felt his excitement and his nervousness. Have you ever seen somebody in a situation and you swore that you could feel what they were experiencing? That could be as a result of mirror neurons. And those are a group of neurons that respond equally when you do something as when you watch somebody else do the exact same thing. So if I watch Keith preside over a meeting and he's doing it well, the same parts of his brain that are active when he does it are also active in my brain as well. Okay, well that's interesting, but then what does that mean? When I heard this, I thought about this. How do we really impact each other? Is it more than just emotional or just social? And if it is, then we need to ask ourselves, are we connecting with other people? Are we impacting them? Are we influencing them? Is a person's life better if we're there? What is your impact? Because this is very exciting, but depending on who and what is around you, it can be potentially dangerous. We have to make a decision about what we allow to enter into our lives and what to eliminate, and understand that what we do has an impact on others, and what others does has an impact on us, and influences how we unleash our potential. So when we talk about taking things out of your life, as video stated, pathways can be built, and others are eliminated. Now, I read an article about how neuroplasticity is used to eliminate fear and anxiety in people, and it's a method of desensitization, where a person is exposed to various degrees of the stimulus that triggers their fear and anxiety in controlled conditions. Now, for me, this is not just a theory, it's what I'm doing right now. How does a person with a stutter eliminate their fear of speaking in public? Join Toastmasters, do 20 speeches in a year. You volunteer to be in 2 contests. It's a systematic rewiring of your brain to respond less effectively to that trigger of fear in your life. And this is actually the process that I went through in the meantime. There was a lot of frenzy, anticipation, and I'm doing it. So this, I feel as if I'm the proof that this really exists and is also effective. Now, I said that things are eliminated, but something has to take its place as well. Now, regeneration. I chose to focus on Ventolin. Does everyone know what that is, to have a phantom limb? It's the ability to feel pain or a sensation where a limb does not exist anymore. And scientists have found that the cause of this is neuroplasticity. So just think of if we're in a battle and we're defending a fort and a wall is penetrated, what would happen? You would send soldiers to reinforce that wall because that's where it's vulnerable. That is what our brains do. It reassigns our neurons to parts of our body that are vulnerable to increase the sensation in that area as a signal to say, stop, take care of this because this is injured. Okay? What does that mean? That pain is sometimes our protector. Pain is not always a punishment or a negative. It occurs in our lives to let us know where our vulnerabilities are and what we need to reinforce and take care of. Now, the good news is that the cure is also in the cause, because scientists also use neuroplasticity as a treatment, and they actually trick the brain into thinking that that limb is still there with visualization and mirror therapy. And and once the brain thinks that limb exists again, those neurons are reassigned to where they came from. That's a powerful thing. Just think about this. What if your car stereo was stolen out of your car? And you come back in the morning and you found that the car has rewired itself. It saw that there's a component that is missing here, and it took parts from other areas of the electrical and routed it to the stereo. Would you be impressed by that? That's incredible. It's incredible that our brains have that capacity. So pain is our protector, but it can also be our proponent, because in the midst of this rewiring and this focus to trick your brain, just think about the discipline and the mental toughness that is developed. Now, I was on Facebook one day, and I was looking for new people to friend, and I friended this young woman, and she responded, and she saw a post of mine where I talked about having a stutter, and she said, I had a similar experience. I worked at a prison, and I was assaulted and suffered a traumatic brain injury. And I couldn't speak for 8 years. And then I joined Toastmasters. And 3 years later, she is a district governor with full use of her speech. Why? It's two things that I want you to get from that story and from this presentation. One is that you need to accept and believe that you have not tapped into your fullest potential yet. That there is so much more that is there that can be leveraged. Why else would somebody who has a stutter or couldn't speak at all join Toastmasters? Belief that they don't have a vision of something that is not yet in front of them. 2, take committed action. Now, those are 2 verbs, but it's 1 step, because you don't commit until you act. So you need to take repeated, committed action with whatever your goals are and whatever part of your life you want to unlock your potential. And this is very important because I believe that everything that we want or can achieve in life starts here. And I truly believe what all commercials would say, that a mind is truly a terrible thing to waste. Toastmaster